Welcome to Dynamic Thriving Audio Blog, where we're very spiritual with a good dose of practicality in support of your life transformation. This is your host, Marianne Pack, spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate. Today's audio blog is entitled Manufacturing Stories to Prove a Point. Over a week ago, I sent a text to someone I love. I had to give them some information and shared a photo. After clicking send, I realized I had not even told them I loved them. So I added one more message that I loved them and clicked send. Then I waited and waited and still waited for their reply. It had been over a week now and still crickets. This relationship with this loved one had been strained in the past, and I began making up stories in my mind about why they hadn't responded. At first, it was just that they were simply very busy with work and didn't have time, as I know they travel a lot. Then the other story started. My mind started racing. They're ignoring me. Did I hurt their feelings again? Why the hell don't they just reply? I'm not asking for a book. It's as simple as, okay, got it. Ugh, why don't they just pull up their big panties and grow up? Why don't they have the courtesy to answer me? I'm someone they say they love. Why aren't they answering me? Are they really that busy or just out of town? Over the weekend, days after I'd sent the message, I saw them in a social media post, out doing some fun stuff. It appeared they were having a lovely time, which I don't begrudge. I love seeing them enjoying life. I thought, if they had time for that, why didn't they have time to shoot me a quick text in response to my question? This line of thought was really starting to feel shitty. I knew what I was thinking may not even be true. Then it dawned on me that if I was feeling this bad, obviously my inner being was thinking something far different and feeling really good. Well, I wanted to feel good about this. I understand that when I feel discord in my emotions, it is indicating that I'm thinking in contradiction to what my inner being is thinking at the same time about the same subject. Negative stories we make up that produce negative emotions always indicate an out of alignment with my inner being thinking. So I remembered a technique a coach had taught me recently. She had us draw a line down the center of our paper. On the left, we were to write down the fact, what actually happened. So I wrote down, I sent a text message and they haven't replied yet. That was the fact statement. On the other side, we were to write down the fiction statements our minds had created about what we thought happened. This side is for all the thoughts we manufacture that are actually fiction. For some reason, that side was so much longer than my fact side. I realized it was time to let go of those false scenarios because they didn't feel good anyway. They simply weren't true as far as I knew for sure. I made up those stories because I wanted to prove a point to myself. I wanted to be right. See, they're doing that thing again and not acknowledging my messages. Yuck! I didn't want to feel that way anymore. I love feeling happy. So I distracted myself with better feeling thoughts. Some of my new thoughts were happy thoughts about them enjoying life, as I saw in the photos. Some of my new better feeling thoughts were about other things that make me happy. Anywho, I shifted my thoughts enough that I felt tremendously better and just let it be whatever it wanted to be. Much better. I love it when the universe gives me confirmations. I receive daily quotes from Abraham Hicks. So when this one came, I had to laugh at myself. Yup, I was doing it again. Here's the quote. Sometimes you manufacture scenarios and put them in your own way just to prove a point. It is as if you would rather be right than happy. When you catch yourself doing that, stop and say, this unpleasant thought is unnecessary. Then choose one that feels better. See what I mean? I don't believe in coincidences as if they come out of the blue. I believe in cooperative incidences that help us realize when we need a nudge back into alignment. That email landed in my inbox in perfect divine timing to remind me that I had created those fictitious scenarios because I wanted to be more right than happy. I had put them in my own way of being happy. I wasn't hurting the other person with my fictitious scenarios running through my head. I was only hurting myself because it felt so freaking bad, which immediately lets me know I'm way off base in my thinking. I love this quote from Abraham. I've seen it before. I know it in my heart of hearts. I want to be happy rather than being right. Being right just makes for a miserable life experience. Always on guard, always in protection mode, always in stress, always on the lookout for someone to hurt my feelings, to prove to myself that what I expected to happen was right, and I was justified why I thought so. Sheesh, I lived that way for most of my life. So I'm done with that miserable existence. It's time to keep being happy in the forefront of my mind. Let go of the fictitious stories that I manufacture about what I think is happening. Listen only to the facts and let it be whatever it will be. Most of all, I want to be happy, not just right. I will stop believing everything I think. And remember that when I have an unpleasant thought and feel the negative sting in my emotions, that it is an unnecessary thought because my inner being is obviously not thinking that thought. My alignment with who I really am is of utmost importance to me. Only the thoughts that feel good match up with what my inner being is thinking, knowing, and feeling. So, happy it is. Will you join me? Here are 2 simple ways to connect with me. I'd love to invite you to join my Life of Joy coaching group on Facebook. It's a free public group where I post my blogs, podcast episodes, messages from my spirit guides, and I will begin holding live and recorded events with Q&As. I'm just beginning to grow this group, so I'd love for you to join as our newest member. You can find that in the show notes. Our newest group is for those of us who have suffered religious trauma and feel like religious refugees. We've hidden out and run from those who would rule over us, and we're reclaiming our rightful spiritual sovereignty. This is a free, private group. It is a safe and sacred space to share our hurts and to heal our hearts with no public eyes. If you are in recovery and healing from religious trauma, the dynamic, thriving spiritual community may be for you. That link will also be in the show notes. Join either group to get to know me better. I certainly want to get to know you and be of service along your joyful journey. If this post has resonated with you, please like, comment, and be sure to subscribe. This really helps my work to expand and touch more lives with joy. Thanks in advance. To your happy thoughts that are believable. This is Mary Ann Pack, your spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate.